Here's the third section, sneaky taxes. The bloody French and Indian War was finally over. Okay, I just want to pause and reflect on the structure of this book. So it seems like this book is written in chronological or sequential order. They're telling us all the events of the American Revolution in order of when they happened. So now that I'm going to read Sneaky Taxes, this is something that happened right after the French and Indian War ended. So I'm going to build on my knowledge of what I already know from the first two sections. The bloody French and Indian War was finally over. But what if the Indians attacked again? What if Spain tried to invade? The British were still afraid of losing their colonies, so they decided to keep an army in America. 10,000 British soldiers called Redcoats, because of their red jackets, were sent across the ocean. Okay. So even though the French and Indian War is over, the colonists are still really worried about potentially losing their land to someone else. Not the French and not the Indian maybe, but could be another group of people that try to invade. So they're in fear. They're kind of living in fear at this point. 10,000 British soldiers were sent across the ocean. 10,000 men ate a lot of food, and they wore out hundreds of pairs of shoes and suits of clothing. Who would pay for their keep? Sounds like a problem. The British said the colonists should pay. The British Parliament, which made laws for Britain and its colonies, passed the Quartering Act. It said that the colonists had to provide quarters, places to live, for all the redcoats stationed in America. Wow. So the British are saying, colonists, you do it. You take care of it. You give them homes. Then the British thought of another way to raise money from the colonies. They would enforce the Navigation Acts, which had been passed in the 1600s but never implemented. The Navigation Acts said that the colonists had to buy almost everything they needed from Britain, even when a product could be bought more cheaply from some other country. Okay, so here I start to hear that Britain is starting to create some acts or some laws that are going to impact how the colonists are able to live freely. All right, so this Navigation Act said, hey colonists, you have to buy everything from us, even if it's cheaper somewhere else. And not only that, they also had to sell almost everything they produced to Britain, even if they could get better prices elsewhere. It didn't seem fair. So people paid smugglers to bring in illegal foreign goods and to sell the colony's own goods to other countries. They did business with their butcher, their baker, and their smuggler. So like a secret way for them to keep on buying and selling the way they want. When the British saw what was going on, they sent warships to patrol the American coast. Smugglers who were caught were fined and imprisoned. This made the colonists angry. The Sugar Act, which we learned about, made them even angrier. This act made it very expensive for the colonists to import one of their favorite products, molasses. The Quartering Act, the Navigation Acts, and the Sugar Act seemed to the colonists like sneaky ways of making Britain richer at their expense. Oh boy, can you imagine your favorite thing, whatever product that might be, your favorite piece of equipment or electronics or your favorite food item. And another person says, nope, you have to buy it from me, even though I'm going to charge you 5 times more than what it usually costs. I bet that would make a lot of us really angry. Let's check out these captions here on these illustrations. Why couldn't the British raise money at home? Good question. So why didn't Britain just try to figure it out over in England? The British people were already heavily taxed. There was even a tax on windows. So poor people bricked up their windows to avoid paying the tax. Oh my gosh. So they even taxed like every window that you had. And people who couldn't pay for their windows just closed them in with bricks. Wow. So I guess that's one reason why they didn't just tax their people in England, because they were already taxing them in all these ridiculous ways. We'll read this one. One day, a British customs officer seized a ship carrying an illegal cargo of molasses. He left some of his men in charge of the ship and went for help. When he returned, the cargo was gone. So were the ship's sails, anchors, and ropes. 40 armed men with blackened faces, he was told, had carried them off. Ooh, so somebody came while he was gone and took all of the cargo and all of the ship's equipment. They are not playing around. In addition to providing soldiers with a place to live, like we heard in the Quartering Act section over here, the Quartering Act made colonists responsible for furnishing each redcoat, that's the name of the soldier that they called them, with candles, fuel, salt, bedding, and beer. What? So they are really taking advantage of the colonists. They're saying, you must give these soldiers places to live, and now you must also give them candles, fuel, salt, bedding, and beer. What? The colonists are getting really angry. I wonder what's going to happen next.